Well guys, as you know, my goal is to help you catch more and bigger fish. In today's video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why you should be using braided line. For years, monofilament was the staple in fishing. It's what everyone used for fishing line. Now, long since then, we've developed different lines, hybrids, fluorocarbons, all different things. Each of these different lines have a purpose in the fishing world, but braided line has truly come a long way and can help you catch fish if you know how and when to use it. So let's talk about the first reason why I use braided line when I go fishing. Reason number 1 why I use braided line: no memory. Memory is basically when line takes the shape of whatever spool that it's been on. Now, when you have line sitting in a store on a shelf for months on end, basically what happens is this line is going to take the shape of this spool if you're not using braid. When you use braid, you can see as I strip this braid off of here, it's coming off nice and straight. There's no loops, there's no coils. So let's take a look at fluorocarbon and let's see the difference between braid and fluoro. So now guys, let's take a look at fluorocarbon. You're gonna notice immediately that there is a massive difference in the memory that fluoro holds compared to the memory that braid does not have. So if we take this off, can you guys see that? The coils in the line? Okay, now why is that a problem? That is a problem because what this is going to do is have the memory of this shape. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take that fluorocarbon and we're going to spool it to this shape. The problem is you're going to have that line that's going to want to spring off of your spool because of the different shapes between the line spool and your reel spool. So again, guys, number 1 reason to use braid is memory, okay? You don't want that memory on your line. You're going to cast a lot further and it's going to be a lot smoother with a lot less tangles if you use braid on your spinning reels and even on your casting reels. So no memory, braid is a great thing. So anytime you're fishing, what I like to talk about is energy transfer and sensitivity. If you can't feel what's going on at the end of your line, you're not going to be able to pick up fish, okay? So this is number 2 reason why braid should be in your fishing arsenal. Braid is much more sensitive than fluorocarbon or monofilament. Here's why. Braid is different than mono and fluoro in the sense that it is a woven line. That means that we're taking individual lines and we're weaving them together to make one solid line. Now, this braid from Piscifun is made with a Netherlands polyethylene fiber, okay? We weave those fibers together to create a super line, essentially. The beautiful thing about this type of material is that when you get a bite, the energy transfer from the bite through the line to your guides is going to allow you to feel everything. Now, that's not the only thing that you want to look at sensitivity for. It's not just the bite, but it's feeling what's under the water. Fish finders are great, guys, but when it comes to really understanding what's down there, you can use your lures as a tool. So if you're gonna drag a football jig or a walleye jig or anything, the energy transfer from your braid is gonna allow you to tell, okay, I'm going over a patch of gravel, or I just hit big chunk rock, or I'm sliding through weeds. So not only does braid help you with sensitivity in catching fish, but it also helps you read the bottom and understand the area you're fishing that much better. So let's recap number 2. Number 2 is sensitivity and feel, okay? You wanna have sensitivity and feel to not only feel more bites, but to also better understand your fishing area by reading the bottom through that braid into the energy transfer to your rod guides. It's gonna help you be in the right area and it's gonna help you put more fish in the boat. Reason number 3 why you should be using braided line. Check out this spool of fluoro. I wanna show you guys what can really harm you when it comes to hooking up with fish. You hear that and you see what I'm doing? Fluorocarbon has stretch, guys. Stretch is a very bad thing when you're out fishing. And you wonder why it's a bad thing? Well, when you go to set the hook, what happens is this line will actually stretch on the hook set. Now, when you have stretch, what you lose is the impact or the pressure for that hook to impale a fish's mouth. Fish have very bony mouths for the most part. You really have to be able to drive that hook home, and using braid, which is no stretch, is really gonna help you do that. Let's take a look. So now we have some braid here, guys. I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I was doing with that fluorocarbon. You can see there's no stretch. I mean, it stops immediately. There's no accordion effect. There's no stretch at all. So what that means is that when you set the hook, that power is going right through this braid, right down to your hook point, and that hook point is gonna drive itself home into the fish's mouth. So guys, overall, when we're talking about using braid and why you should use it, you have to adopt the new ways of fishing, okay? Historically, like I said, mono, fluorocarbon, while they still have great applications, they do not shine in a lot of places that braid will. I know the question you guys have when you talk about putting braid on. Well, are you running braid straight to your hook, or do you do a leader, or how do you do it? So I love to use a fluorocarbon leader anytime that I'm using braid, and this is why. Oftentimes, you're gonna be fishing in clear water situations. If you're in really murky or dirty water, you can go ahead and you can stick with that solid braid and it's not gonna harm you a whole lot. The only problem with that is if you're fishing around rocks, braid is actually very susceptible to being frayed because of the material. Whereas fluorocarbon is actually very good around rocks and can handle the nicks and cuts from shells and things like that. So, how do you join your braid with your fluorocarbon or your mono? Here you can see that I have a swivel. That's one way to do it. If you're doing a technique where you're ripping something or there's a lot of line twist, that swivel will prevent that lure from spinning underwater, which deters a lot of bites. The second way is to take your braid and your fluoro and actually join it with something like an Alberto knot or a double uni knot. That's also a great way to join these two lines. And again, when you're fishing clear water, you wanna have that fluorocarbon leader that's gonna allow you to trick those finicky fish. So, number one, braid is amazing because it has no memory. It's not gonna cause tangles, coiled line, it's not gonna be a pain in the butt when you're transferring it to your reel. Number two, braid is very, very sensitive. You are going to feel more bites, you're gonna feel your surroundings when you're fishing, it's gonna catch you more and more fish. And lastly, braid helps you drive that hook home when you're catching fish. If you're using mono or fluoro, there's a very good chance on your hook set you're going to have stretch, and that is going to have you missing a lot of bites that you don't even realize why. So guys, if you haven't yet, go out and grab some braid, spool it up on your reel, and you'll be able to catch more fish and bigger fish. Good luck out there. Guys, like I said before, my passion is bringing you fishing tips. I genuinely love when I see you guys on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook sharing that you've caught these big fish because of a tip that you learned from me. I've put my entire life dedicated into fishing and learning all different ways to catch all different species. So if you guys like this video, I'd really appreciate if you would go down below and drop me a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and also get notifications going. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Head on over, check us out on Instagram, and hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you on the water next time.